I had a friend who worked in fashion, and they talked about how high-powered executives were in a boardroom talking about why Gen Z love baggy pants. And I thought the idea was ridiculous and funny that they were double clicking into the fact that Gen Z love baggy pants, and this was such a big idea to them. And it got a little bit academic, and they talked about how Gen Z grew up at a time where they saw everything crumbling, including the institutions around them, education, relationships, finance, and institutions. They grew up at a time where it was all failing, and they no longer wanted this idea of a polished aesthetic. So it started almost as ironically rebelling, saying, we want to look ugly. Not that anyone is ugly, but they wanted the appearance of sort of that meme culture of let's pretend to look like we don't care, let's look ugly. And they rejected things that look too curated. So Gen Z don't want to go to the office in a suit and tie. They don't want to go in fancy shoes. It was talking about how young ladies would opt to wear like these trainer shoes, like white, like athletic shoes, rather than wearing high heels when they were going to go out on like a Friday or Saturday or something. And so obviously these people know way more about fashion than I do, so they could explain it better. But I'm doing my best, where they were speaking about the fact that Gen Z like a look that is more relaxed. And so Gen Z like to tear down old statues, right? They like to tear down the way that things used to be done. And so physically and emotionally, they'll tear down these old mementos of the past. And so they grew up at a time where they're used to this volatility. And what is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is volatility. So this generation that grew up comfortable with volatility is going to want to accept Bitcoin, which is by default always volatile. So they don't have a reverence for things that came before them. They want to forge a new trail, and maybe that's a good thing. And they stop caring about things that look so polished because they saw that these things had cracks underneath. And that's emblematic of when Bitcoin itself came up. Bitcoin came up because the institutions around were failing, and the institutions around were pretending to be upheld and polished, but they really weren't. Underneath, those institutions were so ugly, and they had all these bad, dark crevices. And so Gen Z want to rebel against these things that came before them. So let me know about what you think about this messy explanation, and maybe you have a better explanation, but I'd love to know your thoughts.